Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video on the JebJ234 channel. Today is just going to be a quick one of me sharing with you my level 72 Gunzerker build in Borderlands 2. And I'm just going to quickly run through the important parts of this build and what I think would be most important for you as a player with this build to spec into first if you're going through Gunzerker as a character in Borderlands. So I'll start off with the Gunlust tree, and this is the one that I started off with just because it had money shot, and you've got to make sure to put in every build that you have to have money shot because it's one of the most important skills that Gunzerker has. And this is mainly because the final shot in your magazine can deal up to 400% damage, which is very helpful when you're fighting bosses and even just running around completing the story. And I also thought that down not out is a very good skill because you can Gunzerk and fight for your life. And I just put my 10 skill points into the top 2 because the other ones I found weren't really necessary and I wouldn't have used them. And yeah, so that's my Gunlust tree, and I recommend doing this skill tree first. Next I'm going to go to Rampage, and I started off with Inconceivable. And it's pretty much just if you could have an endless money shot if your shields are very low, but it's 50% chance of it not consuming an ammo. And next I have All-in Reflexes, which is just increased reload speed and melee damage. Last longer is increasing the duration of Gunzerking. I have Steady as she goes, which reduces the recoil of Gunzerk. Double your fun when you're Gunzerking, you can throw 2 grenades, which is good for grenade jumping. Yippee-ki-yay increases the amount of time you can Gunzerk. Very helpful, so you can Gunzerk practically all the time. Get some. When you're in Gunzerking, your Gunzerking can restore, so you can use it as soon as it runs out if you're shooting at enemies constantly. And keep firing. Pretty much, if you hold down the triggers for long enough, your fire rate increases and reload speed increases, which is very helpful. And then the final skill tree, which is Brawn, I put in 5 points to hard to kill, so I have more health and health regeneration. Insight, so when I take damage, I can escape easier or run around faster. I've got a Fistful of Hurt, melee override, so this is pretty much a strong punch that can push enemies back if I'm cornered, and it's 15-second cooldown, which is pretty helpful in some situations. Ain't Got Time to Bleed, which is regenerate health while Gunzerking. Pretty good if you're running in between areas and you just need some health. And then the final skill points, I put 4 into the Bust That Can't Slow Down, which increases the movement speed that you have when you're Gunzerking, which I found was very helpful because I just run around heaps quicker. And for the gear, I recommend having a Miss Moxie's Grog Nozzle, and you need to be like halfway through Tiny Tina's DLC and do one of the side missions, and then this is a mission weapon that you can get. I also have the Deeper, or the Double Penetrating Unkempt Herald, and these two together are pretty much unstoppable because you gain health with the damage that you deal, so you don't die pretty much unless you get caught off guard or stuff. And then I've got a Lyuda and a Northlight, and these are pretty helpful if I go down or there's some like surveyors or something in the air that I can't hit with my Deeper. And then I've also got a bee, and you'd probably know what the bee does. It does amp damage, so you get heaps more damage when your shields are fully charged, and it's very helpful. And then for the class mod, I have a legendary Gunzerker class mod, and I chose this because it matches up with all of my skill tree, so everything in the class mod has been used in the skill tree. And then I have a fastball, which is explosive, just so I can kill things easier. Having a corrosive fastball would also be good when you're doing the OP levels. And then in my stash, I have a conference call. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just use it to hit enemies from a longer distance. I have a Titan class mod, which is pretty much a different variation of the legendary one, and this is all in like surviving, having more health and all of that, and which is sometimes helpful depending on the situation. And then I have a Neogator, which is just resist elements, so that's good when fighting like Pyro P or bosses that constantly hit you with like elemental damage. And then finally I have a Sham, which has a 93% absorb chance, and the Sham is very good in all situations because you can just absorb every bullet and barely take damage. This is actually a duplicate of my friend's Sham, and I wasn't able to get one because I haven't really farmed yet, and he had a OP30 character, so he just kept boring the bunker, and when he got this, he was pretty happy, but he was pretty disappointed that it was only 93%, but yeah, I don't think I talked about the relic as well. I've got a max health relic just so I can survive longer, and yeah, that's about it. Here's another overview of my skill trees, and if you guys enjoyed this video or found it useful in your character build, then just chuck us a like and a subscribe if you want to see more, and thank you all for watching.